Hey dears, Whimsy here and welcome to the Nerd Corner. Go ahead and sit back and enjoy the ride because we're about to sail to the Dark Continent. Oh yeah! You feel that? It's day 3 and the heat's turning up on the Black Whale. And now we have a whole new map to break down our current situation. So let's dive in, starting with the Zoldyk brothers. They're just chilling on deck when everyone's given orders to return safely to their cabins. Of course, a soldier spots them and asks for Illumi's ID. Illumi hands it over and basically pulls a Ron Swanson. So the soldier's like, "You still can't be here, sir." And Illumi just gives him a look and says, "I'm on business." Basically translating to, "I'm from the Zoldyk family of assassins. My name is Permission." And of course, some of the Zodiacs come along and recognize him also as a hunter. And Illumi is very upfront here. He is really honest. So he basically tells the cow Zodiac that all the spiders are aboard. And I'm surprised here. I thought at first that Luini was going to be the one to alert the Zodiacs to the spiders, but nope! It was Illumi, so screw you, sir, and your fabulous hair. So now the cow Zodiac is in a moral dilemma. He's in multiple moral dilemmas right now. He thinks that the spiders are currently after Kurapika, so he has to decide whether to resolve the situation and keep it under wraps, or whether to potentially distract Kurapika and alert him to the presence of the spiders. Also, commoners are starting to be killed in the Succession War, which under law is legally allowed by the princes. And Mizai gives this really interesting political commentary about at the beginning. He says that under the eyes of politicians and royalty, that for thousands of years, commoners are essentially seen as sacrifices by the Kakan Empire. And the word sacrifice is starting to concern me because we see this word echoed earlier by the Kakan King. He essentially refers to the 200,000 people on board as offerings to the guardian Nen beasts. So I'm getting weird foreshadowing here. I feel like the people on board could potentially be sacrifices to some dark continent entity. And also, I'm getting heebie-jeebies from the creepy urn itself from the seed ceremony. Also, earlier we see these sinister-looking burial pods where Prince Mimose's body was placed. And also, Halkenberg's gargoyle beast thing is developing its own cult. So strange forces are at play here. I feel like people, the passengers on board, are going to begin to develop cabin fever. We even get this panel from Mizai's imagination of a riot breaking out. Also, recently we are introduced to this very anarchist figure of Morena, and even Magane-san refers to the spiders as people who don't understand balance. So I feel like we could get an upset of order on board. I think Mr. Justice, aka the Cow Zodiac, is going to be forced in between a rock and a hard place for decision making, and maybe even forced into grayer morality. I think the characters are going to become increasingly desperate here. I'm almost getting thematically and unfortunately pacing-wise, a complete Chimera Ant arc vibe here. I think we're going to see a whole spectrum of human morality within this Dark Continent arc. However, we get a light at the end of the tunnel. At the end there, Fugetsu pops up at the investigative headquarters, and earlier she had promised that she'd use her ability to save her twin sister. I believe she's there to try and negotiate and figure out a peaceful end to the succession war, and also because her tunnel ability is a teleportation type, so potentially she could help catch the culprit Luini. And there are just a few last things I'd like to point out. So if you look at the map of the character positions, Machi is all by herself, and I'm concerned for her rationality right now. So she was the one who confronted Chrollo about killing Hisoka herself. She was also the one who basically stitched up Hisoka before he murdered Shalnark and Kortepi. And I believe she might have some romantic feelings, or had them in the past, for Hisoka. So she is really vindictive right now about killing Hisoka. I'm worried that she's going to stir up trouble and potentially she could be in danger right now. And lastly, if you look at the last little footnote, we are unfortunately at another hiatus. It could be potentially for the entire year, or it could be for a few weeks. This is not an unfamiliar feeling for Hunter x Hunter fans, but let's just bear through it because we have some exciting things again. I hope we get Daddy Jing again and Periston, and maybe we'll find out what Hisoka is up to. What things are you guys looking forward to when the hiatus ends? How do you think Kurapika is going to find out about the spiders, and how will the succession war be resolved? Let me know your theories down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time!